What's up, guys? Iceman here.
Welcome to the Diablo Research Institution. Appreciate you guys coming by. Like this video if you will, subscribe to this page, and hit the bell so you're notified next time I post a video. And blessings to my channel members and patrons. Links in the description below. So, I've been running a droid. Once again, I actually started off as a droid for the beta. And I realized I couldn't really have a good summon droid, so I made a sorcerer at that point. But then, when D4 released for the non-seasonal realm, whatever that was, just released June 6th or whatnot, I made a droid then, and I got him to level 50 or so, and I did a storm droid, the path less traveled. But now I'm kind of working on a shapeshifter, and apparently there are some changes coming for the droid. Maybe they are buffing the storm aspect, because the storm part kind of sucked. The channeling and just all that shit. It just wasn't it wasn't what everyone else was running. Everyone seemed to be running the pulverized Druid at that point. But this one's actually pretty cool. The Maul has a lot of AoE, and of course the pulverize is just a godly looking skill. Makes you feel extremely powerful. Especially if you can keep your spirit generation up, which I think generally is a challenge at the beginning. Maybe they've made some changes for that, I'm not sure. We're about to read the notes. So I'm going to kill the remainder of these enemies, and let's check out the notes. I haven't looked at them yet. Ideally, what I would like to try is a werewolf droid that shoots tornadoes all over the place. I've seen a video or two on that build. I think it might require a couple legendaries. But let's take a look-see. And I believe these changes are live now. So as for the droid, Earth Spike. One of your basic skills where you blast little spikes at a distance from you, so it's kind of like a range skill. Spirit gain increased from 11 to 13. Oh my god. Oh, and Claw as well. Spirit gain increased from 11 to 12. Storm Strike. Spirit gain increased from 14 to 15. So this is all good news. Because as mentioned, that's the primary struggle I feel with the droid, is just the spirit generation. Wind Shear. Spirit gain increased from 13 to 14. Maul. Spirit gain increased from 15 to 17. Are you kidding me? And Maul is quite slow, so it would make sense. So yeah, here we are. 17 spirit gained from Maul. So that is active now. It's just very slow, which my guess is that's why it regenerates a little bit more spirit. Oh my god. I might have to keep going with the droid for a hot minute here. Wolves. Passive damage increased from 7.8 to 11%. I still think that damage is going to be ass. The passive from the wolves is just so bad. I wish they would double it or triple it. Even then it wouldn't be all that viable at all. But it would be a start. But nonetheless, I'll try it out. 7.8 to 11% damage increase. Active damage increased from 110% to 135%. And the active with the wolves is where it's just single target. You click on the target, and then there's a cooldown for the wolves, but they hop at it, and they do like one bite or something. So it's kind of like a small nuke spell that is single target, and I wish they would have done something better with it. I thought that was a really cheap way to go about things when I first discovered that that was the active effect for the wolves. I would rather it be them go into a frenzy or something, where like their hair stands up and they like do some AoE swipes and just go crazy for, you know, a couple seconds. I think that would be a lot better than having just that shitty single target buff where it's just higher numbers for just a moment. Just one attack and it's higher numbers and that's it. I felt like it was really boring. Enhanced Wolf Pack. Damage bonus increased from 20 to 25%. Okay. So we're getting there. Brutal Wolf Pack. Attack speed increased from 20% to 25%. Ferocious Wolf Pack. Fortify amount increased from 5% to 8%. Ravens! another skill that I would love to see them do things with. At first, it was hard for me to get past the fact that your ravens aren't always following you around like in Diablo 2. In Diablo 2 with the Druid, you summon a bunch of ravens and they're flying around you all the time. And you go to by enemies and they'll attack them, and then when they attack them enough times they'll poof, and then you just have to summon them again. But in Diablo 4, rather, it's kind of off the screen. And it just kind of dive bombs enemies from off the screen. But I could get used to that or be okay with that if they would attack a bit more often and do more damage. So it's something else I'm going to experiment with on this channel for research purposes. And this guy, I don't think is too far off from being a viable level to use ravens and wolves. So I'll make some videos on that. But 13% to 20%, that's not bad. 7% increase. Brutal ravens. Additional functionality. Increase the passive damage of ravens by 40%. Oh my god. Are you kidding me? Let's take a look here. So, and that is these things, right? 2 additional ravens particularly attack enemies, increase the passive damage of ravens by 40%. Enemies inside the swarm, that one's boring. So yeah, I'd go with this one. So I'm going to try this out. And we'll see if your companions are worth a damn. The thing with the Necromancer, you have so many minions, they're always with you, and they're so godly compared to what you get with a Druid. So I feel like they should bring the Druid up a little bit more so you could be a bit more of a summoner class if you wanted to be. Rabies. Damage over time increased from 76% to 110%. Pretty good buff there. Paragon. Lightning Resilience rare node. Maximum life bonus increased from 4% to 6%. Okay. And then legendaries. Aspect of Metamorphic Stone. Spirit cost reduced from 60 to 50. I don't know what the hell that is. Spirit cost of what? Well, nonetheless, that's reduced. So, yeah, that's a buff. Damage dealt increased from 80 to 100% to 100 to 120%. Okay. Aspect of the Alpha. Damage increased from 75 to 100% to 90 to 115%. Mangled Aspect. Resource gain increased from 1 to 3. Oh, shit. That's a massive increase. I wonder what that is. Class Mechanic. Overload. Lucky hit chance increased from 20% to 40%. Oh my god. Ton of lucky hit. But okay. Yeah, and some other interesting things for the changes as of recently. This is a really odd one. I didn't expect this, but level 35 and higher boss monsters, which I assume are bosses in the dungeons, will now have a 100% chance to drop a legendary item. What do you guys think about that? It just giving us a freaking legendary every time? I was frustrated with how it took me a while to find the legendaries I needed for my Druid to maybe pull the aspect and put it on a different item or whatnot. But every time? Are you serious? I guess that's incentive now to farm the dungeon bosses all the time. But let me know in the comments, do you think that that's too much? We're gonna just, we're gonna have legendaries coming out of our ears. But okay. It's nice it has a happy ending, at least, I suppose. When you go through a dungeon, you kill a boss. Treasure goblins, I've always seen as very, very lackluster. The few times I was actually able to catch the damn things and kill them was always a shitty drop. Now have an increased legendary item drop chance from level 6 to 14. And guarantee a legendary item drop starting at level 15. Alright, that's not as crazy as the bosses, because you don't see these as often. But still, the bosses every time? Yeah, let me know in the comments, what do you guys think about that? Legion events are now more rewarding and guarantee a legendary item drop starting at level 35. Is this shit even going to be legendary anymore? If we get it every time we kill a boss? I mean, I'm just kind of curious. Like, on one hand, it sounds nice that I can make the build I want sooner, but... because, you know, some builds you just can't do without the proper gear. They're just complete ass. So, and that's kind of annoying. But... yeah, I'm curious what you guys have to say about that. I mean, do you think that's going to be too many legendaries falling out of the sky? They turn this shit into Diablo 3? Or is this a good thing? I mean, on one hand, I'm excited to hit 35 with this guy. I could get a legendary every damn time, but I don't know, dog. Yeah, I mean, what do you think about that? Is that bullshit or what? But nonetheless, I'm going to do this dungeon. I'm going to kill the boss. And we'll see if I get anything from him. We'll see if I can kill him. Because this is actually kind of a challenge with this guy. My Necromancer was just obliterating shit at level 9 on T2. I mean, he was killing shit 3 times as fast, and he had, like, twice the survivability of this guy. But this is a spiritual journey. So that's kind of what I'm... ooh! Okay, I can't use it. Okay, it's a barbarian, I think. But yeah, let me get to the boss, and we'll see if there is a happy ending here. But unfortunately, I'm not 35, I'm level 9, so there's not going to be a guaranteed legendary. I definitely want to test that. I assume that means all dungeon bosses. That's got to be what it means, right? But alright, let's try this out. Let's get to the boss. Let's see if there's a happy ending. I'll show you the spiritual journey in fighting the boss with this kind of build. Because it is kind of a pain in the ass. So, I did just level up right before the boss. And it looks like I have a choice here. I can choose a companion. So the wolves... passive. Summon 2 wolf companions that bite enemies for 11 to 14 damage each. Okay? And then there's the active, where it's the little nuke spell where they jump at the target and attack it for 146 to 178 damage. So 11 to 14 passive, whereas the ravens, 1 raven flies above you and periodically attacks your enemies for 21 to 26 damage every 5 seconds. Well, how often do these guys attack? You must get more passive damage than the wolves. But of course there are ways you can buff it and get more ravens. Oh, right, but then the passive for this is quite nice. The target area is swarmed with ravens, dealing 173 to 212 damage over 6 seconds. So the ravens, I think, have a better active, whereas the wolves have a slightly better passive. But I'm kind of curious, how do you get more ravens? I know there's a way to get a couple more. 2 additional ravens periodically attack enemies. Yeah, so... but I think, okay, I'm just going to go with, I'm going to go with the wolves for right now. And we'll see how they fare against the boss, which I'm headed to. So, they have a pretty good look to them. I thought, when I was first introduced to Diablo 4, when I started seeing videos on this, and I was planning on making a druid then, because I just thought it would be awesome to have some sort of hybrid storm build that had, minions helping them out. But it just was extremely lackluster. But yeah, let's see how well these guys fare against the boss. In fact, I'll strike them right away with them. There's their active right there. But again, with Werebear, it is kind of a pain in the ass fighting bosses. Because Pulverize is such a good AoE skill. Oh, the wolves already cooled down again. So you can use that quite a bit. Let's see how well they can survive. Yeah, Pulverize is great for AoE, but for single target. But that's another thing where I think there are a couple legendaries that are important to have. Like the one where, doesn't it create tectonic plates or some shit? Every time you Pulverize, they'll come out of the ground and do even more damage. Single target and AoE. Something like that, I believe, is quite essential for a good Pulverized droid. And maybe I'll find that. Perhaps I just need to level up pulverize more. This isn't half bad, though. Come on, buddy. He's thick. The Druid is nice and thick. I'll give him that. Feels quite tanky at level 10. 315 of the obols? Is that what you call them? Is that what you call them? Murmuring obols. So I once I hit a few more levels, perhaps I'll gamble some gear. Did one Wolfie die? I believe they come back on their own. Okay, he must have come back. When they die, I think they're gone for a few seconds, 30 seconds, something like that. Yeah, that one's dead. Let's see how long it takes for him to come back. I'll try the passive. But you can't do it unless there's an enemy around. Okay, there he comes. So it took like 10 seconds. But, again, appreciate you guys. Let me know what you think about the changes so far. And what class are you going to be playing for this season? I'm thinking about going forward with this Druid a little bit more because I've been having a good time with him. My Necromancer is level 30 or something like that. Doing very well, but I'm kind of interested in trying something different. So, appreciate you guys. Like this video if you will. Subscribe to this page, and I'll talk to you later. Peace be with you.